everybody. Welcome to another edition of Box Seats. I'm your host, Frank Holder. This is the show where we sit around and we talk about sports with comedians. The comedians give us their take on all the stuff that's going around. Some of it funny, some of it serious, but it's still a show. So this is what we're gonna do. First up is my man T, known as Talent, in and around the building. T, what's up, man? How's it, bro? How you doing?
Hey man, I'm hanging in there, brother. It's a cold day.
Oh, really?
Yes, yesterday was beautiful. Today, 60, 62. So I had to pull the hoodies back out and all that good stuff. But the dogs are good. I'm good.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Also, my man Fig is in the building. What's going on, Fig? How you doing, sir?
Talent is damn Skippy right, man. It went from summertime to wintertime in one damn day.
Yeah.
All right, Mike Sean is also in the building. Mike, how you doing, bro?
Chilly Willy is Chilly Willy.
Yes,
Yes, Chilly Willy on the East Coast, son. Yes, it
Word
is.
up.
Frank act like he in Florida. Like,
So, thanks
dude.
to all the people who are watching the show. I want to thank all the people who continue to support the show and everything else, man. While we wait for people to join and start coming in and everything else, I want to ask you a question, T. I'm gonna start with you, and you all can tell me what you think before we get into this, rapid fire questions. It's kind of a serious question, man. Jonquel Jones of the WNBA, she's of the Connecticut Suns. She came out as being gay. She's the WNBA MVP, right? There's no doubt about it. She got the awards and everything else. She led in points and rebounds and everything else. The question that they were asking, I thought it was a pretty good question. I wanted to start out the show and ask you this, and I'm going to start with you, T. Question is, do you think the WNBA overall is hurt by a lot of people knowing that the majority of the women who are playing in the league are gay? Do you think that hurts their brand? And do you think it also hurts people who want to watch because of their sexual orientation? T, what you think?
No, I don't think it hurts the brand. To be honest with you, Frank, I kind of think people expect it. I think that when you think when we were kids, a girl that played basketball for real, was considered a tomboy already. So I think it kind of fits the mantra or the perception of, when you get a young girl or a young lady doing what they considered boy stuff. Like you got female boxers and MMA fighters. When they did that, you was a tomboy. You know what I mean? You had that masculine trait anyway. So when you see that their sexuality and their preference is lesbian or some sort of, in the spectrum, I think it's expected by half of us. I think some people, if you look at their physique, it's very, I would say a third of the women I see playing at WNBA look really like feminine, where it may surprise you because of the way they look. But other than that, I think half of us expect it.
But at the same token, Fig, it's the only sport where the majority of people talk about your sexual orientation. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the fact the way it is. So you don't think it hurts? Well, T doesn't think it hurts. Do you think it hurts their sex, their branding as they try to get this, because it's been for 25, 30 years and people still not, gravitating towards the sport? What do you think, Fig?
It possibly could, in the sense of endorsements and stuff like that. I mean, Talent was absolutely right. When you found a young lady back in our day that was playing sports or whatever and stuff like that, we thought of them as tomboys because it was different back then. The fellas played sports and the girls were playing double dutch and hopscotch and stuff like that and whatever, and braiding each other's hair or whatever. But when a girl was interested in sports, we kind of looked at her as a tomboy. It kind of takes me aback when you see a woman who is, I hate to say it this way, but a woman in the WNBA that seems feminine and it looks attractive, and then you find out that she's gay. It kind of takes you aback, like, ooh, okay, I wouldn't have expected that, because she doesn't look the part. You know what I mean? She doesn't look like she's take on, masculine traits, or like a Candace Parker. When you look at her, when you see her, you say, oh, she looks feminine. But Candace Parker is gay. She's come out as gay. She likes women. That kind of surprises you a little bit. And when I say I think it hurts them with endorsements, it's kind of hard to have a woman have endorsing a product that would be female or selling sex appeal to men when she actually likes women. Like if a guy comes out as gay, it's kind of hard for him to be a heartthrob for women. And it's the same thing on the other side for females. I know that was a lot, but you know.
Mike, in the same token, people don't ask NBA players if they're straight or gay, and we all know there's a lot more NBA players who are gay than people even know and talk about. We know this, but nobody asks because nobody really cares to want to know. Versus on the flip side, WNBA players are asked this all the time. What's your thoughts?
It definitely affects, definitely both ways, and it's complicated because number one, there's still parts of this country, all over this country, that are still like, I don't want my daughter supporting this because I don't want my daughter to be gay, which is outrageous and ridiculous. Number two, they can't market to their target audience because if they market to their like the NBA, we market to guys. I'll give you an example. The WNBA in Dallas had a Pride night. Now, can you imagine the NBA having a heterosexual night? Like, they can't even market openly to their target audience, because if they market openly to their target audience, they're going to isolate the heterosexual side. So it's kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't. So the majority of our players are lesbians, but we have to have a Pride night. Every night technically should be a Pride night if the majority of your players are. So it's like, it's weird how we treat them and how they have to go about marketing they have to be very careful. But in essence, what they're doing is not actually marketing to their core group. They can't do it openly because they'll isolate the heterosexual side. It's just a weird thing that we still have this problem. And I'm just like it's 2022 and I don't care. Market to who you want to market to. Make the money from the people that support you, and the players that play for you, support them and support their lifestyle.
I don't even know why we continue to ask people their sexuality, because honestly, I don't care. And I don't think a lot of people who watch the sports care, but they seem to make this big thing about it. Anyway, I want to bring in my man. Stack is back in the building.
Why is he back?
How you doing, sir? How's everything, bro? How you doing? Long time no see.
Oh man, everything is cool, man. Just out here in ATL, just busy doing all the Stack things, DJing, doing my software hustle right now. But I always check in the box seats every other day at least if I can,
Well, guess what? Since we do
one person I don't miss is Fig, because he's my ultimate troll on Facebook. Other than that, the rest of y'all fellas, nice to see y'all again.
But we used to that now, though. We used to that. But anyway, since we're doing the rapid fire, bro, I'm going to start with you right now. I'm going to start with you because you're going to get the first one up, man. And obviously, I want to talk to you about, let's see, I want to make sure I find it first. Well, I'll start with you with this question, man. The Sixers are intending to offer PJ Tucker a 3-year, $30 million contract right now because PJ Tucker hit the open market. PJ Tucker is a free agent and everything else. And you get the first question up. Do you think PJ Tucker is going to take this deal with the Sixers because he's not getting paid those peanuts anymore? What you think, Stack?
If I'm PJ Tucker, I'm gonna get as much money as I possibly can. The sad thing is just for Philly, I feel bad for Sixers fans because honestly, I don't think PJ Tucker is really going to move the needle for them. Honestly, just, as a team and for what they need right now. You're talking about an older guy, you're not going to get any continuity or culture, from somebody like that. So, good for PJ. I think he should take the deal, get as much as he can. But as far as the Sixers go, it just seems like they're just shooting with their eyes closed, almost just trying to see if they could hit something. Why PJ?
It baffles me too. But in other baffling news, Mike Sean, you up first since we mixing and matching, bro. John Wall's agent, Clutch Sports Rich Paul, has informed the organization, Houston Rockets, that he is exercising his $47.4 million player option for this upcoming season, as we all expected he would do that, because if he didn't, he'd probably get the player minimum. There's no shock to that. But I'm going to ask you this, Mike. Being that he opted in, do you think he's going to be on the trading block and think Houston's going to get rid of him immediately before the NBA draft, which is Thursday night? Or how you think the Houston Rockets going to, how do you think they're going to handle it? Do you think they're going to play him? Or what you think's going to happen, Mike? What you thought?
They're going to absolutely trade him. And I think there was something about a buyout, which I didn't
Yeah.
understand. If he goes into the option, they could also do a buyout.
Yep, they
So there's
can.
going to be some type of buyout, and he's going to wind up somewhere. You know, there was a rumor about the Brooklyn Nets that
Yeah.
he would be with the Brooklyn Nets, might be there. John Wall probably could still ball, but we just don't know. You know what I'm saying? We just don't know. We don't know what his physical condition is like. We don't know if he's really fragile, if it was just something that just happened with his injury. He could wind up being the pickup of the offseason. You never know. He might have had this year off and really reinvigorated himself to be like, yo, I want to get back in the league and show these dudes I can play. Like there's no lack of talent there. We just haven't seen him on a basketball court.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know people thought I was crazy. I said I would have rather had him than Westbrook. If I had to choose, I would have rather had John Wall than Russell Westbrook. But we'll see. But I'm sure Houston is definitely going to make a trade. They're not going to get the value that I hope they don't overvalue him now. I hope they understand they're going to get some draft picks and maybe some mid-level players, but we'll see.
Well, Houston got that new young coach. We'll see how they handle it. T, you up next, bro. My rapid fire question for you is Minnesota Timberwolves right now, along with the Chicago Bulls, are reportedly in some hot, deep discussions to see if they can land Rudy Gobert. Because word is Rudy Gobert wants out. Rudy is talking about trying to get to Chicago. But, you know, the thought is that Rudy Gobert go to Minnesota, he could move to the 5, and Cat could move to the 4. You know what I mean? Because they're not supposed to be trading him. So you would have Karl-Anthony Towns with Rudy Gobert and literally in Minnesota. What you think is the better landing spot there, T? You think Minnesota, like him with Chicago, with Zach Randolph? What do you like, T?
He might as well should just go to Fargo. You know, when I think of Minnesota, I think of Fargo. Like, listen, man. I hate when these guys can't work things out because those guys have kind of it was like a piece away, man, out there making it happen. So now you're going somewhere else that you think is a piece away, but when you trade the piece to get the other piece, is it the piece away or are you stagnated? Think about that. You know, I hate to, you know, put it into my little women terms, but, you know, me, when I was out there, we had a lot of women in my stable. I traded one bad chick, bring in another bad chick. Did I move the needle? I don't think so. I'm still right there with the same bad chick. So that's what I think he's caught in a dilemma. Now, he got the right state of mind by trying to go to Chicago. Now, that miracle happens. Now you're talking about a team that's right there, right on the edge, adding that piece to it. Boom. That might push you over the top. But to me, it's a swish watch. So staying home would have been the best bet, and that team should have got that extra piece that they needed. But now you're taking that big chunk out, going over there. I think it's the same thing, man.
Okay, all right. Fig, you're up next, bro. I don't know if you're gonna have any bad chick analogies like T had, but okay, let's go with this. Let's go with this.
No, T had a stable. I had a kennel.
Hilarious. All right, so the Charlotte Hornets are looking to trade Gordon Hayward along with 2 first-round picks to clear up cap space. The Charlotte Hornets want to make sure they lock up Miles Bridges. That's what they're trying to do. No word yet if they're going to be able to do that, but they definitely are moving on from Gordon Hayward because we all know Gordon Hayward, you know, he's injury prone. And Charlotte is not happy with paying that big money that he got,
right.
You know, that big, huge deal. Do you think Charlotte Hornets going to be able to lock up Miles Bridges, Fig? What you think?
I mean, I guess so. They're not going to, I mean, if they want to lock him up, they're going to lock him up. I mean, clearly they're not paying Hayward. Man, this guy had so much promise. But yeah, I think they'll be able to lock him up, give him what he deserves. I don't think they're cash strapped or over the salary cap. And they might be able to move off old injury prone ex. And I forgot he done moved so much. I forgot what team he started with. Every time I hear Gordon Hayward, the only team I think of is the Celtics. He was somewhere before he got to the Celtics, wasn't he? Utah. Yeah, he was good in Utah, man. And then when he had that major injury on the first day with the Celtics, I think he slipped on a 3-leaf clover and broke his ankle, and he ain't been the same since.
Well, he
sort of like Stack's hat.
He definitely ain't moving the needle. But speaking of Stack, I'm gonna come to you, man. I don't know if you heard the news. Milwaukee Bucks has now decided that Bobby Portis is going to be our unrestricted free agent. Bobby Portis literally took a player's discount to stay with the team. He declined the $4.6 million player option. He's right now. People are saying Chicago Bulls and the Boston Celtics are hotly after him right now. So Bobby Portis is out there, free agent. What you think about this news when you hear Bobby Portis out there being a free agent?
Hey, I'm a little biased. I wanted the Celtics to draft Bobby Portis when he was coming out of Arkansas. High energy dude. He's got good size. He's a floor spacer. He's a hustle player. He's the type of player that I know that fans would love in a place like Boston. So I wouldn't be upset about Bobby coming to Boston. I don't see him going back to Chicago though.
I don't see him going to Chicago. I definitely don't see him staying with Milwaukee. I see him maybe landing in Miami or basically the Celtics. That's what I see, because Miami's hot in the free agent market right now.
I hope he doesn't go to Miami, because that would be a real problem.
That would be. Yeah, it would be. And he probably will. I mean, we'll see. T, you up. Bradley Beal officially has made his announcement official yesterday and everything else. He has now declined his $36.1 player option for the 2022 season. He's entering unrestricted free agency this summer. People are saying that he only did that because he's going to re-sign with Washington. Do you think Bradley Beal is going to re-sign with Washington, or do you think Bradley Beal is going to really test the free agent market and at the same time take a discount to play with the winner? What do you think Bradley Beal is going to do? T, what do you think?
Well, first of all, I just want to put it out there. I declined my $50 comedian option for this weekend too, because I want to see what's out there. So I think this is one of the good old decline and re-sign situations. I think he resigns because I don't think there's anywhere out there that he's going to go. Right now, he's where he wanted to be, that he hasn't been. When he was playing with John Wall, the attention was more on John Wall. John Wall was the guy. Right now, he owns this team. It's his team. It's his to build around him and build his name and his brand to get to the highest point of level. Now, if he go somewhere else, I can almost guarantee you, just off the top of my head, I don't see many teams where he's the guy. But right now, he has that. Sometimes in basketball, I keep telling you guys, 70, 80% mental. And right now, mentally, to feel like the guy is worth, that's 100 million filling in your brain to feel like the guy. Right now, if this people's been talking to the right people up the chain and saying, hey, we're going to build around you. It's your team and blah, blah, blah. We'll bring the pieces you want. Let's do that in the next 3-4 year plan. You resign. You go somewhere else, it's not going to be the guy.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Fig, where you at? Fig, this question is definitely for you. The Knicks are trying to clear $25 million so they can land and chase and go after Jalen Brunson. People are definitely saying that Jalen Brunson is going to land on the Knicks and everything else like that. If they clear $25 million out their roster, some people got to go. Who do you think is going to have to go for the Knicks for them to get Jalen Brunson?
Oh man, who has to go? Probably Robinson, and who else do you get rid of, man? Probably a couple a young cat or no. Robinson and
It's only one guy.
Yeah,
there's only one guy.
There's only one guy.
Julius Randle.
That's it.
That's it.
Julius Randle.
That's the guy.
Julius Randle.
I
I was trying to think of somebody other than Julius Randle, but when Mike said it's only one guy, I was like, yeah.
He let that fandom get this way. I was waiting for to clear that fandom out.
I was trying to think of a bunch of guys that throw in there for Fig.
Yeah, I was like,
Mitch Robinson, John Starks,
Patrick Ewing. You know what I mean? Like,
Nah. Yo, Mike is a hater. Mike was like, only one guy. Only guy.
Yeah, see, I was trying to
And
help
the Knicks could use Bradley Beal. I tell you that we could use Bradley Beal.
That wasn't the question, though, Fig. That wasn't the question. Mike Sean, the Los Angeles Clippers, right now, forward Nicholas Batum has declined his $3.3 million contract. He's hitting free agency. It's widely expected he's going to re-sign a new 2-year deal. The league is everybody's telling Yahoo Sports. He is going to sign with either, according to Yahoo Sports, the Lakers, the Bulls, the Celtics, the Phoenix Suns, or the Utah Jazz. We all know Nicholas Batum is that high energy, 33 years old, high energy guy, comes off the bench. He can hit some big shots. He can alleviate the wing. You know what I mean? He's a pretty good player. Where do you see him landing at out of the Lakers, the Bulls, the Celtics, the Suns, or the Utah Jazz? Where do you see him, Mike?
Well, you can land with the Liberty. I don't care. Like, what? No, let me tell you about the Lakers. The Lakers need more than high energy. Like, they don't need no high energy. Like, some of these guys are going to get overpaid this year and sign these John Wall contracts that everybody regrets for the rest of their lives. And listen, I'm sure he's needed on either one of those teams that you named. I'm sure Chicago would love to have him there. You know, I already disrespected him, so I can't say no disrespect. But so I apologize for that if I see you in person at any time. I mean, these high energy guys, the NBA, look, I would love to be 6'8", 6'9", and just be able to get paid off of high energy. So I guess one of these teams will put him on the bench and give him $8-9 million, and he'll make a beautiful career out of it. But I'm not focusing. If I'm an NBA team and I'm really trying to win a chip, he wouldn't be my top priority. But I think the Clippers would be better off keeping him because they're going to have to replace that guy by looking for somebody else. So they would be more in tune right now to just keep him.
Yeah, but it looks like the Clippers not keeping him. So, you know, that's where it's going to happen. You know, he's definitely going to hit the free agency market. Speaking of people not keeping people, T, you up. Looks like Kevin Looney, how I said yesterday, was not going to be able to be afforded by Golden State. Word came out last night that Kevin Looney has expressed interest to the team and saying everybody else that he expects that he's going to have to move on from Golden State. If he moves on, he's going to definitely get paid more money because he was, you know, a nice little key piece at Golden State. Where do you see Kevin Looney landing at? And I'll let you in on this secret. 3 beat writers are saying from Yahoo Sports saying that he's going to land on the Knicks. You think that's possible? Or where you see him landing at?
Absolutely, because they have a Robinson problem here in New York. I've been reading that for the past couple of weeks. It looks like we're trying to part ways with Robinson over there. So we need big stuff and big guys to come in, fill up those holes, patch those holes. So I can see that happening. But history has shown us, man, that East to West and vice versa, it's a hex. Mm-hmm. So you've been running and gunning with the Warriors, Golden State. Now you come over here and clamp down on some East Coast big boy game here. It could, I don't know, man. Don't get me wrong. Very few people have been able to play both coasts and play it well. So, I mean, I'll take him. He's a good player, definitely solid, but we'll see what happens.
All right. Stack, this question specifically for you being a fellow Celtics fan. Terry Rozier is back on the block, man. People are like we just talked about Charlotte. Charlotte looks like they're cleaning out a house and everything else with a lot of, these big, heavy-ended contracts. Terry Rozier's out there. Word is that he's putting out that he wants to come back to the Celtics. Do you think the Celtics should take him back, or do you think he should keep moving on?
Yes, keep him. Bring him back. Bring him back. I was disappointed when they let him go for Kemba Walker just to pay Kemba twice as much, and Terry Rozier played the same amount of minutes as Kemba that following season, scored the same amount of points, more rebounds, more assists, better defense at half the price, and he's homegrown. I would love to get Terry Rozier back. I feel like he's actually probably the missing piece, to the puzzle for the Celtics in that homegrown puzzle there. Yeah,
he definitely would have helped him handle the ball if he had been on the team and everything else. All that. He definitely would have helped him with that. Fig, believe it or not,
here we go, man, with the trolling, man. Here we go, man.
I think you're gonna like this one, Fig. Russell Westbrook is obviously right now he's on the trading block. People are saying he's on the trading block and everything else, but he's being linked now to the Hornets for Gordon Hayward. Right now, the Lakers looking like making a swap, obviously, with Gordon Hayward and Russell Westbrook. Do you like that swap with Gordon Hayward and Russell Westbrook? And Gordon Hayward laying on the Lakers, and Russell Westbrook going to the Hornets. You like that?
Yeah, man, because it would give Anthony Davis somebody to hang out with when they're both injured. I mean, they can sit in the hot tub and take ice baths and get a treatment by the trainers and stuff like that. Gordon Hayward and Anthony Davis would be a perfect couple, and the salaries match. So
Right.
that'd probably be good. They can get off the bad contract of Russell Westbrook and take another injury-prone player to be friends with Anthony Davis, man, because they're both injury-prone, and you can pick up either one of their memorabilia at I think I forgot the name of the shop, but whatever shop sells glass.
Oh my God.
You pick up their memorabilia, their jerseys, and their sneaker endorsements are all at IKEA in the glass section.
So, T, James Harden also has to opt in by June 29th. And everybody's expecting, actually, it's not true, everybody. A lot of people are thinking that it's 50-50. People are not expecting, not even sure if he's going to opt in for his final year of his contract for the Sixers. Let's say he opts out. Let's
Right.
say James Harden opts out and he does a buyout or he hits the open market. However, how that plays out. What do you think is going to happen with James Harden, and where do you think he can land if he opts out of the Philadelphia 76ers?
James Harden, he like that girl that told 3 dudes yes to go to the prom. Just keep letting people down. You can't go to the prom with everybody. You can't. It's a bad prom date, bro. Like, do we really care where he goes? The only people right now that cares about James Harden are the Sixers. Just because they for planning's sake, you want to know how to plan for the next season. I don't think nobody's hyped about him. I think at this point, it was just yesterday. He was a main guy. He was a main guy being traded. And we'll give you this for him. No, he's just that guy. Like, can we go back to talking about Bradley Beal? Because nobody cares like James Harden. I think he's gonna try to leave. He's gonna get a rude awakening, and he's gonna have to stay. That's what I think. I think that once you realize your worth out there, when it ain't matching up in your brain that it is out there on the real streets, I think you start to go and make amends. Start picking the phone up. How you feeling today, Embiid?
You all right?
I'm telling you.
I believe you.
I don't think he's going anywhere, man. I think he's going to test it, and he's going to get a rude awakening. Either that, or he's going to Fargo.
Yo, Frank, that's hilarious. Joel Embiid told 3 girls he going to the prom with him, and then he don't show up.
Okay. Mike Sean, you up, man? Duncan Robinson from the Heat is going to be an unrestricted free agent too. Do you think the market's going to be high for Duncan Robinson because his average and everything else went down? I think he's still a hell of a player, but there's some people on Yahoo Sports and Bleacher Report and everything else saying that his market is not going to be that hot for Duncan Robinson. Agree or disagree? What's your thoughts about Duncan Robinson?
Damn, I keep getting these Duncan Robinson questions. Duncan Robinson is cool. Like he's all right. Like he's gonna be in the league for 10, 12 years, and he's not gonna be the difference maker anywhere. He's gonna be somebody who's gonna be serviceable, and he's a nice player. He's not gonna dominate a playoff series. He's gonna add something off your bench and stuff like that. And real quick on the Bradley Beal. If Bradley Beal stays with the Wizards, he's going to be Gilbert Arenas. He's going to be super rich, and he's never going to win. He's going to be John Wall. He's going to be super rich, and he's never going to win. Bradley Beal, if you take that $230 million that they can give you, I am not mad at you. But don't ever complain about not winning then. Just take the money and chill. Duncan Robinson I don't know where he's going to wind up, but he'll be in the league for a while. We'll know his name and stuff like that, but he's not gonna move any team into contention. Or on the flip side, he's not gonna take you out of contention.
Right. Stack. If the Minnesota doesn't make that major move, and obviously Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell's supposed to be also in play and everything else. What do you think is going to happen with Donovan Mitchell? You think he's going to stay? We think he's going to move. What's your thoughts on the Donovan Mitchell situation, Steve?
If Gobert leaves or if he stays?
If he stays.
Oh man, I honestly, if he stays, I don't even think it really moves the needle now that I think about it. I think Donovan Mitchell and Rudy, their relationship is something that seems like is kind of topsy-turvy. I think Donovan Mitchell probably wonders if there is a real chance of a future in Utah and if they're going to be a winning team, kind of like what Mike was talking about with the Wizards. It's like is anybody, can anybody really win in Utah like ever? You know what I mean? So I think that's probably more what Donovan Mitchell is wondering more so than whether, you know, Gobert stays leave. I love Gobert. I think he's a great talent to have, you know, a good anchor on both sides of the floor, but I don't know if that really can keep him. So because of that, I think Mitchell's probably going to be up out of there pretty soon.
Yeah. Fig, according to my reports and everything else, Dallas is supposed to be making some kind of major move to help get somebody alongside with Luka Doncic and everything else. The problem is they don't got a lot of money, and Mark Cuban doesn't spend a lot of money in luxury player tax and everything else. Who do you think the Dallas could get, who's literally a bottom tier player that could help them a little bit? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, there's not a lot of guys out there. It's not, you know, it's like going food shopping and you ain't got no money. You know what I mean? Like, how you do that? What do you think Dallas can do?
Here's the thing. My man is Luka Doncic is ball dominant, so he's gonna have to. They basically need shooters because Luka Doncic, although he's ball dominant, he finds his way into the paint on a consistent basis. So they could use a Tyler Hero or Duncan Robinson, a player like that. They could use a Duncan Robinson. I don't know what they're gonna pay him, but they could use a Duncan Robinson definitely to just spot up and knock down open threes. Because look, last playoff series, he couldn't get off the bench in Miami for whatever reason. He was relegated to the bench until everybody else was on injury reserve. And that's the only way he got off the bench in Miami. So you can't get a lot of money for him. So maybe he could end up out there. And a guy that can shoot and get open shots, he could definitely help Dallas and Luka.
All right, the last NBA question. I'm going to ask all three of you all this question. Start with you first, T. This question's for you first. Up first is the word is on the street is that the Lakers have been trying to get Kyrie Irving, and the Nets want Anthony Davis. The Lakers said no.
That's all.
What you got?
Well, first of all, I'm mad that I got a Laker question with the shirt on. It's colors. Damn, I was hoping to get through the show. I think that's you knew that was going to happen. I mean, here's the thing: you're talking about an even swap of two guys that both of them missed the season. It's like we trade you our absent guy for your absent. So I think that that's the right thing to do. I think, again, we talked about this on the other show, and Mike brought it up. Was like, for Kyrie to end up on the Lakers, man, that's going to take more than one dinner. You know, you gotta mash up and amend some things, man. I'm sure, even though they don't talk about it, they don't go to Twitter wars, Black Twitter wars, or NBA Twitter wars. I'm sure there's a lot there that has to be discussed between the main man before he goes over on his team, while he's there at least. So I see that. That makes all the sense in the world to say no.
Okay, Mike Sean, Kyrie for AD.
No, can't happen. You can't trade. Look, they both missed time, but I'm not trading you a 6 foot. I'd rather have the 6'10" guy who can defend the rim, and also when he's healthy, is a top 7 player in my opinion, or top 10 player when he's healthy. Now I get, when the fuck is he healthy? I get it. Like I know. But the problem is, like, I need a younger version. I need Anthony Davis. I can't trade you Kyrie Irving because I respect his principles. I do respect how he stood against the vaccination. Figures brought this up before, too. You never know what could occur in America that could get Kyrie Irving to be like, I need to chill for a little bit. Like, and I respect that in him. I'm not taking that away from him. Like the next pandemic. Like, you know what I'm saying? Monkeypox jumps off. He don't want to get vaccinated. Next thing you know, you just never know with Kyrie. The man thinks bigger than basketball. And unfortunately, when you have things in your life that you believe are more important than basketball, which they should be, as an owner of a basketball team, it worries me. It worries me that, something could really happen in this country where Kyrie just says, that's that. I'm part of this political movement from here on out. Like, I'm done. And that's something I respect him for. But as a basketball owner, I'd be nervous.
Fig, Kyrie for AD, would you do it?
You know, it's kind of funny, man. It's just like an even trade to me, man. But like he said, Mike said, Monkey Pops jumps off. Kyrie takes a boat to Cuba and buys up all the bananas. I'm like, what?
Yo,
No, man, but you know what? It kind of solves a problem that both teams have if you really look at it, because Brooklyn really needs somebody a big that could score with KD. They got a lot of shooters, a lot of little shooters like Kyrie. You got your Curry, you know what I mean. You got the boy that oh man, what's his name? He got the dreads and he came out of he was out there with Popovich, the shooter.
Patty Mills.
Patty Mills. They got Patty Mills. They got Joe Harris.
That's the one.
They got a lot of Kyries. You know what I mean? A lot of shooters.
right.
But they don't have that big man like that. So and then LeBron, the last time LeBron and Kyrie won, they were together. And Kyrie did sort of make amends a little bit, say, yo, LeBron, when he was in Boston, I really understand what happened, what it's like to be running a team and stuff like that. So I think it could possibly work. And then you can find another serviceable big man, like a Kevon Looney. You know what I mean? Maybe the Lakers will pick up a Kevon Looney with a Kyrie, and that sort of solves your big man problem or whatever and stuff like that. It's not like they're going to pass the ball to him and have him back down in the paint. You know, so
But you know what, Fig? Your answer is great it's a great answer. But the problem is Patty Mills and Curry are both free agents, so nobody knows if they both are going to stay also. So it makes a great answer. But if those two don't stay, then obviously now your thing is off. So I'm gonna ask you, Stack, AD for Kyrie. Let's
taking
assume
that all
that
in.
these guys stay. Assuming those guys stay.
I'm taking that trade whether they stay or whether they leave. Truth is,
Right.
when Joe Harris was healthy, he's the best 3-point shooter in the NBA. You know, that's the main cog. You know, Brooklyn's already got Kevin Durant. If you need somebody to dominate the ball, he could do that, but he also knows how to let the ball move around from his time with Golden State. They need interior presence. You know, hopefully they can keep Nick Claxton and put him alongside AD with Kevin Durant. That's a huge front three, a huge front court for one.
Yeah.
And in their backcourt, they got shooters. So if you got Curry and Joe Harris back there, you know, you can get a serviceable like playmaking point guard, you know, for the low and go to battle. And then I feel like for the Lakers, it's a good look because for one, AD doesn't play much. So you're not really losing a ton. I think that Kyrie and LeBron, remember when LeBron gave his speech after they won in the bubble, he was like saying how he wanted to pass the torch to somebody else. That's what he was trying to do with Kyrie before, but Kyrie's ego and pride didn't allow him to be able to like accept that from the OG. And I think that now Kyrie appreciates and understands what that means. And then, you know, like Stephen A. Smith always says about Kyrie Irving, he's box office. Like, could you imagine Kyrie out there at the crypto.com, but we still call it the Staples Center, playing alongside LeBron, one of the best glue guys in the league. So, like, we're not worried about rebounding, stuff like that. There's tons of, you know, free agent centers out there now, you know, including like somebody like, I don't know, DeAndre Ayton. You know what I mean? You go get Ayton, you having him run alongside LeBron and Kyrie. Like, that's a squad, you know. You still got Dwight Howard. Like, I think it's actually a good trade. It'd be good for the league.
It'd be excellent for the league, but I don't think it's going to happen. So
hell, with them guys together, you could call up Patrick Ewing.
No, I hate to say this. Kyrie is one of the most talented players I've ever seen, but he is not a point guard, Joe.
That's
He is not. He is not a point guard. He is not going to run that team.
LeBron's a point guard on that squad, though.
Yeah, but my thing is, I'm not taking Kyrie right now over Anthony Davis. Like, we really forget 2 years ago what Anthony Davis did in that bubble. Like, cats really have a short memory of what this guy is when he's healthy. They really got a short memory of how dominant he was when he was healthy and when he was focused. And I'll take a focused Anthony Davis, a maybe focused Anthony Davis, before I bring Kyrie on.
Hey, Mike,
but the question is going to be this, though. Hold on for a second. I'll go in a second. The question is going to be this, though. Is Anthony Davis ever going to have a full, healthy season ever again? That's the big question when you have to when you make a trade.
I'm taking
I
that
wouldn't make the
chance.
trade. 'Cause I don't
You
think
talking deep playoff runs with
Huh?
an injury prone big man, like a injury
Nah,
prone big
right,
man.
dude.
You gonna make
Go ahead,
deep
what you
runs in
gonna
the playoffs?
No, that's what I was gonna say.
You
I
got a
think the
shot
reason,
maker. That's gonna win a playoff series for you. That's Kyrie.
right? I think the reason that people said that Anthony Davis was able to be healthy is because they had so much time off because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So he really only had like a real abbreviated season. So I don't know if he's gonna when's the last time we seen Anthony Davis healthy for 75% of a season?
So this is what I'm saying.
60%.
But this has been my whole point with general managers and their dumbass common sense. We do all this load management. If you see he took that much time off and how he played, then give him the time off.
Yeah.
Then just play him lightly 2-3 times a week the first half of the season and give him the time off. The regular
why you
season is
shaking your
just
head?
to get into the playoffs anyway.
See,
Well,
why-
I think
contract
Can you do that
negotiation.
with an aging LeBron? With an aging LeBron right
Hold on,
now?
T had the floor. Hold on, T had the floor. Why are you shaking your
Here's,
head?
here's the thing, because we keep looking past the main factor. The main factor is both of these guys have missed a lot of playing, right? For whatever, forget the reason or why. They just have. So if we look at it from the lens, the perfect lens to look at this from, both guys, we're looking at the trade. Both guys at their best. I'm taking Kyrie Irving all day, every day.
Yeah.
Both guys at what their capabilities are. I'm not even thinking about it because there's guys that can. Here's the thing: as good as AD is, there's a couple of guys that can guard him. As good as Kyrie is, there are no guys that can really guard him.
Yeah.
But there's
And that's
nobody
a
he
fact.
guards. But there's
That's a
nobody he
fact.
guards. There's
But
nobody he guards.
Kyrie's not suspect
He's
on
not
D.
a slouch on D. Yeah,
He's
he's not.
no slouch. He's no slouch.
No.
But here's the thing: you got a big guy. Not taking them from AD. It's very good. He's a top tier player. However, there's about 3-4 more big guys that can give him some run out there. There is nobody that can shut down or stop Kyrie at that position. I'm sorry.
He just got shut down.
Let me tell you something. The only reason
He
you
just
talk about
did.
a Steph Curry right now at a point guard position because he can shoot the lights out. But can he go to the rack like Kyrie? No. Can he defend like Kyrie? No.
Did you just watch Kyrie play in the playoffs?
I did.
Okay. It meant nothing. It
But-
meant nothing. They got
Dude,
their
that
asses
guy-
handed to him.
You can listen.
And
we
he was
could
playing
point
with Kevin Durant.
and we
better
could point
fit.
out games where Kevin Durant didn't do nothing. We could point out games where every player in the league did nothing.
Oh.
That's part of the game.
Ask
You're gonna have
Boston.
games
Ask
when you don't
Boston.
do nothing. But overall, who's better than him?
Ask
But
Boston how
Mike-
they feel about Kyrie.
But Mike, as a Celtics fan though, like even look at the makeup of the teams. You don't think that it'd be a better fit in?
No, not now, because LeBron needs more out of Kyrie than he needed when he played with Kyrie the first time. He needs more out of Kyrie now.
More? How much? Like, what do you mean by more? Defense? What are you talking about?
No,
Points?
he needs what Anthony Davis did when they won the championship. LeBron did not have to average 30 points a game.
And he won't with
did-
Kyrie either.
No, but when he played with Kyrie, that's what he did. He had
What was-
historical games on his run with Kyrie. With Anthony Davis, he was able to score 24 points, have 11 rebounds, and 8 assists.
You
When
know,
he played with Kyrie, he literally had historical games to win that championship.
Let me
I've
ask you
never
this.
been on the fence right now the way I am right this moment because both of you all are making excellent points. I've never been on the fence like this, and right now I'm.
LeBron ain't making that block shot against Iguodala now.
Well, let me ask you this. Here, everybody, here's the big question. If you had to start your season and bet who would make it to the end, health-wise, now I'm not talking about other reasons, just health-wise. Do you
Kyrie.
think that that Kyrie would last
Yeah.
the whole season, or do you think that Anthony Davis will last the whole
This is
season?
Kyrie.
It's 70% Kyrie. But the fact of the matter is, it's 55% or 60%. Chances are they both getting hurt.
Yeah, and chances
I
are
take my
it's gonna be
chances.
something-
I like to take my chances with Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie all day, bro.
Kyrie
Kyrie all
Irving
day.
doesn't have a history of being injury prone. Now
But-
he might not show up for another reason, but injury, I
Yeah,
can trust
but
Kyrie
then
a
you
little
also
more
think
than Anthony Davis.
there won't be some political statement that might not come out too. Then he's going to be gone too. So either way, you're taking your chances. So
Coulda,
this is-
woulda, shoulda. But I tell you one thing: you give me a guy who's wearing an afro versus a guy with braids. I'm taking the afro every day.
I'm taking the braids.
Every day.
I'm taking the braids. I'm sorry. I'm
Pumping
taking
up with
braids.
the, how you taking a braid? You got an afro right
You
now.
know,
I'm taking
you
the
know why he's
braids.
taking the braids? Because if he goes,
I got
there,
good
he's
hair.
gonna be sitting between somebody's legs, getting some box cornrows.
I'm taking braids all day.
all right. So yeah, all right. Let's move on, man. Let's move on because y'all are crazy. Y'all are crazy. So I'm gonna start with you, T. Your first one's up with you, man. There was a report that came out that was detailing the 2009 sexual allegations against Washington Commanders owner Dan Snyder. He refused to testify. Congress is now the Committee on Oversight and Reform investigating him, which the Congress has said that they are going to force him to giving him a subpoena that he is going to have to testify. I don't know if it's going to be this week or not, but they're going to get there and they expect him to testify for 3 or 4 hours. He's the first man up and he's getting ready to be the one under the gun. T, what's your thoughts on this right now? Because ultimately,
He's not gonna do it. He's not gonna do it because you can't command the commander.
God.
That's ass backwards. He's the commander. Here's the thing. Shout out to Bill Cosby. He just paid $500,000 to one of his people. So listen, his ass is grass. Now, I'm watching this show right now called Gaslit. I don't know if you're watching yet on Stars, but
What's
it's
it
the
called?
story.
What's it called?
Gaslit. It's the
Gaslit.
story about Nixon when all that Watergate thing happened, and it just shows how they was throwing each other under the bus when it hit the fan. This is what we're about to see with the Commanders right now. And the fact that they subpoenaed him first, he's gonna be the guy. He's gonna go from commander to what do you call it? Comanche in a minute. He ain't gonna be no commander in a minute because once all this stuff comes out, this is serious business now. This is what we were talking about before with the Deshaun Watson thing, that it never came to fruition to go this route. This is the actual route that gets kind of really close to criminal and all that stuff. So look for him to start singing like a bird. They done commanded the commander to testify.
Zach, you think he's gonna plead the fifth? You think he's gonna get up there in front of the committee and start pleading the fifth?
Just based off of and I don't know Dan Snyder much about him, but I just feel like his personality, he's gonna be up there talking. He's not gonna plead.
Yeah.
He's gonna go get stitched.
He's gonna give the story. It's gonna be like a Johnny Depp, Amber Heard type deal going on here.
He's gonna go get stitched. Sean, you think some other stuff is gonna be uncovered when he gonna plead the fifth? What you think gonna happen?
On this show, I told Roger Goodell, you better get Daniel Snyder out your league. A bunch of times I kept saying, you better force him to sell that damn team because talent is right. Even if this dude is innocent, the stories that are going to be told, that are going to be exposed, are going to be so damaging to the league that they still not going to want him. This is inevitable. This whole organization is going to fold and be sold within a matter of years because there's no way. Once Washington gets stuck on you, like baseball couldn't duck these dudes. Once they get stuck, they make it like it's the biggest problem in the country.
Yeah.
Once they'll have the committee there, they'll have it like it's Watergate. It's gonna be set, dog. You're gonna think the president of the United States sexually harassed somebody by the time they get done this situation, man.
Oh God!
I agree with that one.
That's
what you
a
think?
fact.
You think he'll plead the fifth? What you think is gonna happen to him?
Let's just say this: Daniel Snyder is a billionaire.
Right.
And he has the money to hire the great attorneys. The great attorneys are going to tell you, you go up there and you don't tell on yourself. Now, the only way Daniel Snyder testifies is if they pardon him. Basically say, look, you tell the truth and we can't, we're not going to prosecute you, but we'll get everybody else. That's the only way he's going to tell. Why would you cannot, I don't care who you are. You could be the federal government, law enforcement, I don't care what it is. Nobody can make you tell on you. That's illegal. That's what the Fifth Amendment is. I don't have to tell on myself. But if you give me a pardon and say I'm not going to prosecute you, then he'll be singing like Luther Vandross.
And then they'll really make him sell that team because he's going to be telling on other owners.
All
Absolutely.
right, so Stack, you get this next round of questions. You start off the next round of questions with this one, man. We all know Brian Flores is now with the Pittsburgh Steelers and everything else, but the NFL has now filed yesterday. They filed to move the Brian Flores case to arbitration. I said a couple of months ago when I asked this question and everything else, I don't think he's going to settle. He said he wasn't going to settle out of court and everything. He wanted everybody to know. But now B-Flow is working for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Stack. Do you think he's going to take the case to arbitration since he's now employed by the NFL? Stack, what you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's going to settle. I think he's going to use the not the scapegoat, but he's going to say something along the lines of, I'm currently focused on my role with the Steelers, and I don't want to be a distraction to the team and the coaching staff. And yeah, it's gonna quiet down. That's how I feel.
All right, but Mike Sean, B-Flow did say he didn't care what happened. He was going to make sure everybody found out the truth. What you think, Mike?
All right, number one, arbitration could lead to like a $50 million settlement.
Yeah.
You never know what it could lead to. The only thing that's tricky here is that the Pittsburgh Steelers are pissed at the NFL for not enforcing the Rooney Rule the way they wanted it enforced. And they basically played the Steelers and they played that owner's name and they used it as if they were doing something right. Yeah. So the Steelers might have his back in this. The Steelers might have his back and might be putting the battery in his back saying the reason why we hired you against the advisement of the rest of the league was to go at the NFL. So he might be in a situation where he got Big Brother behind him saying, you know why you got this job? Because we want this rule enforced properly. And that might be what pushes him past arbitration. And maybe there might be a deal that Mike Tomlinson might be saying, you might be next up as the head coach. Don't know. All speculation.
It looks like that.
That's a good way of looking at it, T. What's your way you look at it? Do you think B-Flow is going to move forward with this arbitration case, or you think he's going to sit down and just like do exactly what's his name said and say, you know what, I don't want to make no waves? What you think?
Well, I think that making waves, we passed that. I think that Mike hit the nail on the head. I think this is a step towards another step. You know what I mean? This is you dangle this carrot in front of the horse, if you will. This is how this rule was intended, and we need to do it the right way. And you have a future here coaching.
I definitely hear that one. That makes a whole lot of sense too to me. Fig, last question, bro. Do you honestly think that B-Flow is going to take this? You think he's going to go along? Like, it's one way or the other. He got two options. He can either do what Mike said, do what Stack said, do nothing, absolutely nothing, and just sit back and let it play out. How do you think it's going to happen?
Arbitration is or like a settlement. And the scary thing about arbitration is that the person making the decision could be in the pocket of the NFL. So that's a chance that I don't want to take. I want to take a chance with a real court and a real jury, you know what I mean? And let all the evidence come out, because in arbitration, you don't need all of the evidence. All you need is just, like little pieces and stuff like that. So if you really want this to come out and you really got your witnesses and other coaches and stuff in line, this could have a ripple effect throughout the entire NFL and really reinforce the Rooney Rule, like they were talking about. Like this could really help to get some parity in the NFL as far as Black coaches and stuff like that in the NFL, which we haven't seen. So it really depends on whether Flores wants to be a martyr or he's going to get paid off. And that's what it really comes down to.
Before we roll out of here, I want to do a quick shout out and RIP to the NBA player Caleb Swanigan, who played 3 seasons in the NBA. And he was a decorated player at Purdue. He died of natural causes at the age of 25, which was really, discouraging to hear. So, prayers up to his family and friends, because honestly, this dude, according to Damian Lillard, who made a post yesterday on social media, or the day before, he's like, man, this dude was going through a lot of darkness and depression and everything else. We all know that's serious business and everything else. So I wanted to give a shout out to him and his family. Wow. Anyway, that's the show. I didn't want to talk too much about that to bring obviously the spirit down of the show, but I did want to mention it to let people know.
Just mess the rest of my day up. Thanks.
Sorry.
Thanks, Frank.
Sorry. I want to thank Stack for joining the show today. Stack, man, thank you, man.
Good job, Stack.
Thank y'all for having me, man. Thank y'all for having me.
I want to thank you for joining the show. I also want to say we're going to have the show again tomorrow, same time, same place, everything else. Fig, tell everybody out there how they can follow you, bro.
At Comedian Fig, all social media platforms, and I am the comedian, also known as Figadamus.
Everybody laughing because Fig make one pick. He get
That's
one
all it
pick right.
That's all it takes.
That's all it
I've been
takes,
right
Fig.
all
Let him
year
know.
long.
Let him know.
Not if you make 25, though.
Hey, I made it all year long. All year long. I made the pick before the season started, and all year long, I've been right up until the finals.
Also,
Figadomus X.
a quick shout out to Jalen Ferguson. Thanks, Stack, for reminding me. I forgot about that too, man. I
Oh.
wanted to mention that too.
That's very interesting. You notice that, Frank? Figadomics X is like this, but Wakanda, you turn it.
Well, T, tell everybody out there how they can follow you, bro.
You can find me at wakanda.com. It's the boy, Instagram, Talent the Comedian. Hit me up. It's going to be a busy weekend. If you're in North Carolina, hit my page of Talent the Comedian. Come on out, Charlotte area, Gastonia. We got 2 big shows Friday and Saturday night in the theater down there. Bang.
I really enjoyed the show today, guys. I really did. Mike Sean, talk to me. Tell me how we can follow you, bro.
At Mike Sean Comedy. Follow me at Mike Sean Comedy. Check out the morning show tomorrow morning. Download Media Room 360, and you'll see us rocking out tomorrow morning.
There it is, Stack. Again, thank you for joining the show. How can people follow you, bro?
Y'all can catch me at Stackinova on Twitter or Instagram. Y'all can also follow me on Fig's Facebook account, arguing with every single take that he makes, because he's not Figadomus X. Actually, he's a front runner for the Golden State Warriors. By the way, next week I'll be on vacation in Belize, so I would like to make a couple appearances here on Box Seats from Belize. So make it happen.
So Stack.
I'm spending all the money I made off that Celtics playoff run. You know,
For $50, that's all it takes.
money.
I'm going with you.
Some of it's Fig's money.
Yeah, I'm going with you. If it costs $50 to go to Belize, I'm going with you.
It's Lobster Fest in San Pedro, so you know I'll be sending y'all Fig's drinks. I'll be sipping right there every time we go on Box Seats every week. Okay.
I didn't even know
You
Pedro.
don't want one drink and save it all week.
Well, I guess a win is a win is a win. So
Yeah.
Win is the win.
That's
yeah,
it.
win is a win. All right, y'all. That's the show. Thank y'all for watching. The show's called Box Seats. We talk with comedians and everything else. We'll be back tomorrow from 1 to 2. The show is called Box Seats on the Humor Mill channel. We do this all the time. We repeat the show at 3 to 4 every single day. We have some hot takes. We do it with comics and everything else. Thank y'all for watching. Thanks y'all for telling friends to tell friends to download the app. So we appreciate all y'all. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.